The game-changing event that led to the current situation in CAR would be in March 2013, so nearly a year ago, when a rebel force called the Seleka, which is a coalition of various factions, moved down from the north of the country into Bangui and seized the city, overthrowing the president who'd been there since 2003, called President Bozizi, and installing their own president, President Jotodia. Jotodia was unable to retain control of the city, and fighting between his rebel group and various other vigilante groups in the city continued, which prompted French intervention. As a result of French pressure as well as Chadian pressure, President Jotodia resigned and was replaced by the appointed president, President Catherine Samba-Panza.
With the rise of rebel forces in the capital, the French began deploying troops to Cameroon in November 2013. The passing of the UN Security Council resolution in December allowed French forces to move in and capture the airport at Bangui on the 5th of December. President Hollande revealed an additional 400 troops had been supported in December, bringing the total up to 1,600, and in February 2014 this was again boosted up to 2,000 soldiers in and around the capital Bangui.
There is a standing army in the Central African Republic. Before the March coup, it numbered between 5,000 and 7,000. However, with the ousting of President Bozizi, several of the armed forces who had his loyalty left Bangui, left the city, disbanded and deserted. As a result, the capability of the army is significantly reduced. However, even in its original form, it was unable to control areas outside the capital, outside Bangui. Similarly, its arms and vehicles were in quite a dire state of disrepair. Various militia groups operating in the Central African Republic. However, broadly speaking, one can identify two groups. One would be the ex-Seleka fighters, who were the Seleka rebel group that took Bangui in March 2013 and was subsequently disbanded. They were forced from Bangui, forced from the city, by Onti Balaka, which is a separate militia group, and as a result have lost significant capability because they are in various parts of the country rather than being grouped together. The Onti Balaka, who formed essentially against them from former National Armed Force soldiers, as well as armed civilians that don't have any necessary institutional affiliation or formal training. These groups, both the Onti Balaka and the ex-Seleka, have access to traditional weapons as well as AK-47s and some grenades. However, beyond that, more sophisticated weapons are outside their reach. They tend to fight each other. However, more recently, they have also staged armed attacks and ambushes against UN and French forces. Following the formation of a new government in January of 2014, there were a few representatives of both the Onti Balaka and the ex-Seleka militia groups in the cabinet. However, they were appointed to minor positions, and it was not enough, essentially, to appease either group. The Onti Balaka originally fought alongside the government to push out the ex-Seleka from Bangui. However, now they have become the government's primary problem. Catherine Samba-Panza, the new president, declared war against them in February. However, without the loyalty of the army, it's unlikely that she will essentially be able to neutralize the Onti Balaka forces, and small-scale, low-level fighting is likely to continue in the capital as well as outside it. The ex-Seleka have announced that they intend to regroup. However, a renewed insurgency is unlikely in the next 6 months to a year due to their incapacity to regroup in one particular position.
On the 20th of January 2014, the EU Council agreed in principle to deploy forces to the Central African Republic. This would follow a United Nations Security Council resolution and would be limited to only 6 months. Some countries, including the UK, Italy and Germany, have already ruled out deploying troops to the region, but would supply logistical support. The UN Security Council passed in January 2014 authorised the EU force to be established. This was then established on the 10th of February 2014 with the creation of the EUFOR RCA, the headquarters of which will be in Larissa, Greece, and the local headquarters will be in Bangui. EU diplomats announced in February that 1,000 troops would be sent to the CAR. 55 troops were confirmed by Estonia as being approved to embark on the mission, and substantial numbers are expected from 4 other EU nations. These are likely to be Latvia, Portugal, Romania and Poland. Polish press also suggested in early March that up to 150 troops would be involved in this mission. The Finnish Defence Minister said that 20 troops would be joining the EU mission, but these would be limited to mine clearance and medical roles. Georgia has offered 150 troops in support of the European mission, and Turkey has also been approached by EU diplomats to join.